G'day. So here's something I've thought about for a long time, and I found it difficult to get any real answers about it. I'm not going to tell you who I've spoken to or where I initially, who I heard speak about this, but it was an interview that I read by a very, very well-known drummer, one of my hero drummers, so figure it out. And he was talking about, and I'm just paraphrasing, it was a long time ago, but he was talking about the idea of letting things happen. So when you're playing, say just because of the movement of your body and the position of your drums and the fact that you're relaxed, things start to happen without you really trying to do them. Happens with ghost notes. Hi-hat's a classic for it. I remember Tony Williams talking about how someone asked him at a clinic that I saw on YouTube, asked him about how he developed his left foot, and he had a really simple answer for it. Like he started out rocking, and then that turned to like a more on top thing, and then then that just sort of turned into the four to the bar thing. But he wasn't exactly consciously trying to play four to the bar. It's like once you get that leg groove in it, it just sort of starts happening. And so you let it happen. And going back to the first unnamed drummer that I didn't mention, he was talking about the same thing, about how, when you're relaxed and you know what you're playing and you start moving around the kit, things start to happen. And it's really cool when that happens because you can pull off some pretty cool sounding fills, some pretty cool ghost notes start happening. And I was never really able to get any answers about this. And I asked another, certainly very well-known drummer in Australia, and certainly very well-known in the drumming community all over the world. I asked him about this, and he said to me that he'd actually spoken to the Unmentioned Drummer about this, and that the Unmentioned Drummer eventually kind of concluded that he was just really enjoying playing again. He'd been through a bit of a hit the wall kind of patch, and he was reinventing himself a little bit, and so he was really enjoying playing again. And I was pretty disappointed with that answer. I thought, what does that really mean? So I kind of decided that I think I just understood it, because I can feel it in my own playing when I'm firing. But all it is there's lots of things that you can just allow to happen. You don't even have to play them. The hi-hat's a great example of it. Ghost notes are a good example of it. If you're really grooving to something and you're open to allowing whatever can happen to happen, meaning that you're not expected to play something in a fairly set way or whatever. Lots of cool little ghost notes can start to come out, and all you have to do is listen. You're not actually doing anything, they're just happening because of the way your body's moving and the way you're dialing in the feel. And the same thing can happen with like the bass drum pedal. It's funny how often if I'm playing, I can play some really fast single pedal bass drum stuff But then if you put me in like a clinic and ask me to demonstrate it on the spot, I don't know that I'd be able to isolate it and demonstrate it at that speed. But yet, if it's just happening and you're aware of it and you just allow it to happen, you can start to manipulate it a little bit. Or you can just let it happen, or you can start to push it around a bit, and it's really interesting. So I kind of touched on this in that previous video with the example of the bass drum. Where in my brain I'm not thinking about playing an extra note. I'm not thinking about going ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. I'm just thinking boom, 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 boom. And because of the looseness of my foot and because of the way these great beaters are responding, I'm getting an extra note, you know. And so I just allow that extra note and I'm conscious of it. And once I'm conscious of it, I can kind of like pull it out a little bit more if I want to. But I think that's about it. See if you can get into that space sometimes, because it's so rewarding. Yeah, not sure what else to say. It's so satisfying, so rewarding when you can like throw down fills and all these little extra things happen. And your fills sound fat and whatever. So, you know, try that. I've done that a little bit on previous videos with things like playing a same groove for ages and just getting really loose and dialing it in, and things can start to happen. Find this particularly with the bass drum, snare drum a bit too. Yeah, once you get that bass drum beater swinging and you're locked into a groove, lots of little things can happen and lots of little things can be available to you if you're aware of, conscious of the fact that they're available to you. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again, 66 subscribers. Hey, moving up in the world, fantastic. Queensland, Australia of all places. Regional Queensland, Australia. Located about 75 kilometres directly south of the sun. So a lot of Australians like to visit the sun for holidays. They take their pet lizards with them and they have a terrific time. So thanks again. Stay tuned, leave comments, leave suggestions. We can talk about anything. Stylistically, we can talk about a lot and I can demonstrate a lot on the drums. So don't be shy. And as you can tell, we're not in the business of the attention economy here. So you're not going to get lots of little bell dings and, you know, stuff going off. This is just like an old school stinky music room. It's like an old boxing club. I mentioned it in the last video. And hopefully there's good information here because that's really what matters. But if you're into presentation, whatever, give me some suggestions and I'll probably go, nah. All right.